Change is inevitable. It is one of the few certainties in life. Yet, for many of us, it remains one of the most difficult things to deal with. Why is that? Why do we often cling so tightly to what we know, even when it no longer serves us? Perhaps it's because change forces us to confront the unknown. It disrupts our routines, challenges our comfort zones, and often requires us to let go of something, sometimes even a version of ourselves. But here's the truth. Without change, there can be no growth, no progress, no evolution. In this extended journey together, we'll explore what it means to truly embrace change, not just tolerate it, but welcome it. Because when you learn how to embrace change, you unlock the door to new possibilities, personal transformation, and a richer, more meaningful life. Chapter 1. The nature of change. Change is part of the natural order. From the moment we are born, we begin to change. We grow, we evolve, we learn. Seasons change, our bodies change, the world around us shifts constantly. And yet, so many of us are resistant to it. Why? Because change represents uncertainty, and the human brain is wired to seek safety and predictability. When things stay the same, we feel a sense of control, but control is often an illusion. Consider how much has changed in just the past few years. The global pandemic forced millions of people to adapt rapidly to new work environments, new family dynamics, new lifestyles. For many, it was painful, but for some, it was an awakening. They discovered new strengths. They started new businesses. They reconnected with their families. They shifted priorities. Change often forces us to reevaluate our lives. And in doing so, it helps us uncover what truly matters. Expanded section includes examples from history, such as the Renaissance, which followed the upheaval of the Black Death. Crisis often breeds creativity. Chapter 2. My story of change. There was a time in my life when I clung to stability like a life raft. I had a secure job, a daily routine, and a sense of identity wrapped up in what I did for a living. But inside, I felt like something was missing. I felt a deep disconnect between who I was becoming and the life I was living. I ignored it. I told myself it was just a phase, that things would get better. But they didn't. Instead, that voice inside me got louder until I could no longer drown it out. Leaving that job was the hardest decision I've ever made. It meant stepping into the unknown. It meant risking financial security, status, and a clear path forward. But here's what I learned. Clarity doesn't come from clinging to what's safe. Clarity comes from taking steps in faith, from daring to imagine that something better might be possible. That leap of faith didn't lead to an immediate success story. It led to uncertainty, doubt, even failure. But it also led to growth, transformation, and ultimately, a life more aligned with who I truly am. Expanded with deeper reflection, journaling excerpts, the internal battle of fear versus hope, and a timeline of personal growth. Chapter 3. Why we fear change. Let's go deeper. What is it about change that creates so much resistance in us? Fear of the unknown. Our brains are wired to detect threats. When we don't know what's coming, our survival instincts kick in. Loss of identity. Change often means letting go of roles or labels that defined us. Fear of failure. What if I try something new and it doesn't work out? Comfort addiction. Even painful familiarity can feel better than uncomfortable uncertainty. These fears are valid, but we must ask ourselves, are they keeping us safe or are they keeping us small? Expanded with case studies from psychology, such as the concept of status quo bias, and cultural stories of transformation, from myths like the Phoenix to modern heroes. Chapter 4. The Gifts of Change. What if I told you that some of the best things in your life are on the other side of change? New relationships, a healthier mindset, a more fulfilling career, deeper self-awareness. All of these often require change. Growth rarely happens in your comfort zone. Let me share some stories from others who've embraced change. A woman who left a toxic relationship and found strength she never knew she had. A man who lost his job and discovered a passion for photography, turning it into a thriving business. A student who changed majors 3 times before finding the career that truly excited her. Each of these stories is proof that change isn't just a disruption, it's an invitation. Expanded with user-submitted testimonials, quotes from interviews, and survey data on life after major changes. Chapter 5. How to embrace change practically. So, how do you actually embrace change when everything in you wants to resist it? 1. Start with acceptance. Change is a natural part of life. Resisting it won't stop it. It will only increase your suffering. 2. Get curious, not afraid. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, what is this trying to teach me? 3. Journal through the process. Writing helps you process emotions and track your growth. 4. Take small steps. You don't have to overhaul your life overnight. One brave decision at a time is enough. 5. Celebrate progress. Every time you lean into discomfort, you are growing. Acknowledge it. 6. Create rituals of renewal. Morning routines, prayer, meditation, or time in nature can help ground you during uncertain seasons. Expanded with workbook-style exercises, reflection prompts, and recommended resources like books, podcasts, and mindfulness apps. Chapter 6. Step-by-step guide to overcoming personal crisis. When change feels like a storm, how we weather it. Below is a step-by-step guide to navigating personal crises with resilience and clarity. 1. Acknowledge the crisis. Don't minimize your pain. Recognize that you're in a crisis, whether it's a job loss, heartbreak, health scare, or existential doubt. Naming it is the first step to healing. 2. Ground yourself. In crisis, your nervous system is on high alert. Pause, breathe, anchor yourself in the present. Techniques: deep breathing, grounding meditation, or simply naming 5 things you see and hear right now. 3. Seek support. You don't have to do this alone. Talk to someone you trust, a friend, a therapist, a mentor. Join a support group or faith community. 4. Write it out. Journaling helps you make sense of what's happening. Ask, what am I feeling right now? What do I fear most? What do I need? 5. Find a tiny next step. In chaos, clarity comes through action. What's one thing, however small, you can do today? Make a call, take a walk, drink water, organize your thoughts. 6. Create stability routines. When life feels out of control, build routine into your days. Wake up at the same time. Eat meals regularly. Move your body. These habits anchor you. 7. Feed your soul. Read something uplifting. Pray. Listen to music that soothes. Spend time in nature. Nourish your spirit daily. 8. Let yourself grieve. Loss of a person, a dream, a lifestyle hurts. Give yourself space to cry, to mourn, to be human. Healing begins with honest emotion. 9. Visualize hope. Picture a future where things are better. What does healing look like for you? Let that image pull you forward. 10. Give it time. There is no rush. Recovery is not linear. Trust that even if you don't see it yet, change is shaping you into something stronger. Expanded with exercises, guided journaling questions, a resilience timeline worksheet, and daily affirmation cards. Chapter 7. Change and spiritual growth. For many, change is deeply spiritual. It brings us face to face with our fears and also with our faith. In times of change, we often pray more, reflect more, and connect more deeply with our spiritual beliefs. We're reminded that we are not in control of everything, and that's okay. Letting go becomes a sacred act. Trust becomes a spiritual practice. And transformation becomes a divine invitation. In this space of surrender, miracles happen. Expanded with spiritual teachings from multiple traditions: Christian, Buddhist, Stoic, and indigenous philosophies. Chapter 8. when change feels like loss. Let's be honest, some changes hurt. Losing a loved one, facing illness, divorce, betrayal. These are not easy paths to walk. But even in grief, there is transformation. Grief opens your heart. It teaches empathy. It connects you to what truly matters. It deepens your love. When we allow ourselves to mourn what was, we create space to welcome what's next. Expanded with expert commentary from grief counselors and personal essays from those who've experienced profound loss. Chapter 9, Embracing Your Evolution. You are not meant to stay the same. Life is calling you to evolve, to become more fully yourself. That means shedding old stories, beliefs, and expectations. It means allowing new dreams to rise within you. It means trusting that every version of you has had a purpose, and every new version is necessary for where you're going next. Expanded with a life timeline worksheet and a guided visualization for future self-integration. So, if you're facing change right now, here's what I want you to remember. You are stronger than you think. You are more adaptable than you realize. And on the other side of this change might be the life you've been longing for. Don't run from it. Lean into it. Be curious about it. Ask yourself, what is this change trying to teach me? What new version of myself is emerging through this? Embracing change isn't about pretending it's easy. It's about facing it with courage and choosing to grow through it. Change is not the end. It's the beginning of a new chapter. And you, yes, you, get to write it.